I'm Jake Newshound, and this is Newshound's location report from Jerusalem, where the city is in complete uproar. Something's happened to Jesus, but we don't know what. The trouble is, the city's absolutely bursting with people, because today is the start of the biggest holiday of the year, the Passover festival. Perhaps we've just lost Jesus in the crowd. I've been talking to some of the people who saw Jesus last night, including Dinah Lott, who did the catering for a private meal which Jesus had with his disciples. Dinah, can you tell me, did you see anything unusual happening last night?
Yes, I did. The first unusual thing was that I didn't get paid enough money for all the food I bought. See, well, I'm not in it for the money. I do anything for Jesus. But Judas, he looks after the money for Jesus' disciples. Judas had told me that he would give me whatever it had cost. But when it came to it, he didn't give me enough. He's very odd, Judas. I wouldn't trust him a bit. Anyway, they were all tucking into my roast lamb. You have to have lamb at Passover, and they're really enjoying it because I do pride myself on my roasts. You preheat the oven to firewood mark 9.
Yes, very interesting. And?
Yes, of course. Well, everybody's having a great time, and Peter's asking about second helpings, and they're all teasing him, laughing, when we all noticed Jesus. You could see just by looking at his face that he was very, very sad. Everyone round the table went completely quiet. And Jesus looks around at them all and says, I've really wanted to eat this meal with you because it's our last meal together before I suffer. One of you sitting at this table is going to betray me to my enemies. I could hear them whispering, is it you? No, it's not me. Well, who is it then? Well, I don't know, but it's not me. No, I never. Anyway, it went on for quite a few minutes. And you could tell that something nasty was about to happen.
And did it?
Well, I'm not sure. About half an hour later, when it was dark outside, I saw that Judas sneak away from the table, grab his coat, and slip out of the door. What do you make of that then?
I'm here on a bit of wasteland just outside Jerusalem, and as you can see around me, there are hundreds of tents. The city is so full up with people for the Passover, the hotel's so full that many are sleeping out here under canvas. It's like one gigantic campsite. One of the campers is Mr. Guy Ropes. Guy, I gather there was a big disturbance in the middle of the night. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. Well, it was in the garden just the other side of that wall, right? Jesus was there with his followers, and a load of soldiers came and dragged him off to the city. Said they had to interrogate him.
How did it happen?
Well, I'm just about to turn him for the night, right? And I hear the tramp of feet coming up the hillside and torches in the darkness. Next thing, I can hear their weapons rattling, and I think someone's about to be in deep trouble. It turns out that it's the enemies of Jesus. All this week, they've wanted to get at him, and they know that the nighttime is the best time to snatch him. But until tonight, they've not been able to do it. There's so many people about, and they don't know where he's staying. I mean, where would you start looking? But then, I see Judas. He's offered to be their guide. He's right at the front, leading the soldiers to where he knows Jesus will be. He walks right up to Jesus so the soldiers know which one to arrest. Can you believe it? They say Judas got a nice bit of money for betraying his friend. But the strange thing is, Jesus doesn't try to run away or hide. I reckon he could easily have slipped away in the darkness, but no. Jesus just stands there, almost as if he's expecting them. And then he says, real calm, this is the hour when the power of darkness rules. And straight away they grab him and bundle him off down the hill into the city.
And what happened to his friends?
Some friends, they left him. Couldn't see them for dust, except Peter. He did come back. I saw him following Jesus at a distance. Anyway, I went back to my tent and tried to get some sleep. But a few hours later, we heard the terrible news.
What terrible news?
Well, Peter told us. He's in a mess, sobbing. He tells us that Jesus has been dragged before the high priest and put on trial. And worse, that he's been sentenced to death. I just can't believe it. What's he ever done wrong?
Do you think there's much hope for Jesus now?
What do you think?
It's late afternoon now, and this is Skull Hill, the most terrible place to be in all Jerusalem. We're just outside the city walls, and it's here that criminals are brought for execution. With me is Industrious, an officer in the Roman army and part of the execution squad today. Industrious, did you see Jesus of Nazareth here today?
Yes, of course. This morning, 9 o'clock sharp, 3 prisoners are delivered here for crucifixion. 2 of them are thieves, just ordinary criminals. You see them here all the time. But the third one, I don't know his crime. He's different. He's in a bad way, too. Our boys have beaten him very efficiently, and he can hardly walk. This was Jesus, of course. Anyway, we do our job. We nail all 3 prisoners to the beams and hang them up to die, just like normal. Not pleasant, but not too difficult. And then Jesus says, about us, I suppose, "Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing." And I thought, how can he possibly say that? Meanwhile, the crowd are shouting their heads off. They've really changed their tune. Beginning of the week, they were all for him, and now they're screaming and throwing things at him, mocking him, taunting. "You saved other people, but you can't save yourself," they shout. "Come on down from the cross, then we'll believe you're our king." Then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he dies. And do you know what his last words are? He says, "It is finished." Not "I'm finished," but "it is finished." As though he'd just done something brilliant. You know, I've seen hundreds of executions here, but never one like this one. Never someone like him. Even the CO was impressed, and he's a tough one. He turned to me and said, "That Jesus, he must be the Son of God." Makes you think, doesn't it?
And where is Jesus now?
He's being buried. A friend of his took his body. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm on duty again now. Got to go and guard his tomb. Don't know what they're worried about. They think he's going to break out.
Industrious, thank you. An opinion, let me bring you in here. This is a very sad day. None of us expected it to end this way, did we?
Not really, no. But I think Jesus knew. I think somehow it was all part of his plan, a way of bringing people back to being friends with God again. When he said, "It is finished," it was a cry of triumph, not of failure. He had done what he set out to achieve.
Yes, and what about those other words of his? "Father, forgive them." That was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
But typical of Jesus, always putting other people first, always concerned with others, even people who were harming him.
I suppose this is the end, though.
Well, you'd think so. But I can't help remembering something rather strange that Jesus said just a few days ago. "I must suffer many things and be rejected by the religious leaders and be killed, and on the 3rd day be raised to life." Really makes me wonder whether we've seen the last of Jesus or not.
So, what are you going to do now?
Keep a close eye on that tomb where he's being buried. Who knows what's going to happen next?
Anne, thanks for talking to us. But sadly, as we know, ordinary men don't come back to life once they're dead. Only God's got that kind of power. So, from a very sad and confused city here tonight, this is Jake Newshound handing you back to the studio.